Hey everybody, Jim the Tabletop Engineer here, and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I'm actually starting, surprise, a new campaign series. I have a lot, I know. I have a lot of campaigns that I'm playing, different games. This is a new one. It's not a new game, but it's a new campaign for me. I jump around a lot, and I apologize, but I get interested in one game, and then I get interested in another game. But I do try to loop back, and trust me, if there's a game I'm playing that you like, I will get back to it. But the other day I was actually walking over here at my game bookshelf, and I was just feeling like I wanted to play something different. Not necessarily new, but something different that I hadn't played. And I was looking at all the books, and my finger rested on one, and a flood of memories came back. Because this is the game that really kind of got me heavy into wargaming. It pulled me away from Dungeons & Dragons and got me into wargaming. And so I pulled the book off the shelf, and like I said, just a flood of memories. I've been playing this game since about 2014. I think that was when I got the first edition. There is a second edition now, and maybe that'll give you a hint as to what the game is. The rules didn't change too much between first and second. There was some mechanics change and some spells and things like that. That's a second clue. But I have been wanting to play this game for a while, and believe it or not, if memory serves, I have not played this game since pre-COVID. So it's been a while. And that made me sad because this is like one of my most favorite games in the world. And the game is Frostgrave, second edition. You can play first edition, but second edition came out. It's a thicker book. And like I said, there were some additions to it and stuff like that. I consider the author, Joe McCullough, I consider him a friend. I've met him quite a few times. We've played games together at Gen Con. I've communicated with him through email and stuff like that. And I just find him just an incredible game creator. He's got Stargrave, Frostgrave, Rangers, Silver Musket, Archipelago. I'm sure there's some I've forgotten. Frostgrave. There's this... I forget. There's a bunch. There's more than that. He's quite prolific as a game creator. So what I'm going to do, I want to play this. I don't want to play it against an opponent because it's hard to find an opponent for Frostgrave these days. It just seems like people have sort of like moved on, but this is still a great game. Also, it's hard for me to get a regular campaign in Frostgrave. Players, it's hard to get an opponent that can show up, and I'm guilty of this, or come to my house or meet at the game shop, and videotaping at a game shop is a whole other issue. So I've decided I'm going to play solo. Now, here's the thing. Second edition, this game is not really designed for solo. It's designed for player versus player. There were some Frostgrave solo scenarios released in an expansion book called Perilous something. I just went blank on it. And those solo campaigns were fun, and I did play a few of them, but they were really, really difficult. I mean, hard. Now, I'm not looking for a cakewalk. I'm not looking to just, go crazy and get 100 magic items and thousands of gold pieces, stuff like that. But when I play Frostgrave, I want it for the fun. I want it for the story. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to start playing the campaign. There are 20 scenarios in this basic book. I want to start playing them in order and build up a new wizard and apprentice and his warband. And since I'm not going to be playing an opponent, what I'm going to do is I am going to use the Wandering Monsters rules. Now, the Wandering Monster rules state that at the start of each turn, you roll a d20, and on an 11 or higher, a new monster appears. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that my Frostgrave warband is going into the city of Felstad, the frozen city, and they're just basically going to be dealing with the wandering creatures that are just flooding the city. So in my campaign, all three edges of the map that I don't start on will have a starting creature that I'll roll randomly. Okay, so at least there's going to be 3 creatures initially. And then at the start of each turn, I'll roll a d20, and on a 10 or higher, or 11 or higher, whatever the rule states, a new creature will appear. Now, because I'm playing a low-level wizard at start, the creature, there's a chart, and if you're following along, it's on page 177. Now, normally how this works is you roll 2 d20s. One tells you the column and the other one tells you the row. And each column is progressively more difficult. So what I'm going to do is for my warband, while my wizard is level 1 to 5, I'm going to use the first column. Level 5 to 10, I'm going to use the second column. And when he reaches 10, level 10, I'll be rolling strictly on the third column, which is much more difficult creatures. I may find that that may be too easy. I don't know. I just can't really remember. Some of these creatures, like the bears and the wolves, they can get pretty pretty ugly. The skeletons and the zombies, those lower level things, they're pretty straightforward. But I'm going to go ahead and start playing this. I just want to play it. I want to have my wizard go in there and improve his skills and find treasures and magic items and stuff like that. And it's about having fun. It's not about trying to defeat and kill my warband. So, I'll try to tell a story with this campaign, and I'm also going to try and make decisions, in-game decisions, randomly when I can, but I want them to fit the narrative or fit the story. So sometimes I might fudge, not a roll necessarily, but I might fudge a ruling because maybe it just makes sense for this person to be able to do that or not be able to do that or whatever. We'll hit those when we hit those. But what I want to do is I want to get started playing Frostgrave again. So on this cold, rainy day, I'm going to break out some of my old terrain. I'm going to break out some new miniatures, and I'm going to play a game of Frostgrave, and I welcome you to watch. I will explain the mechanics as I go for those of you who are new to Frostgrave. So I want to make the first few videos, maybe the first 2 or 3 videos, not just my playing the game, but also an introduction to Frostgrave. For those of you who've never played it or might have, but you're a little fuzzy on the rules, we'll get to all that. So let me get the camera moved, let me get the terrain put out, and let me get started. I'm going to start playing the first scenario, which is called The Well of Dreams and Sorrows. The Well of Dreams and Sorrows. Okay, time to play some Frostgrave. I have got my warband set up here. I am playing with an enchanter named Spifflock Bluewick, and he has an apprentice named Tabin Sharpstick. I have 5 thugs, 2 rangers, and 1 treasure hunter. That's all I could afford starting out. So a lot of thugs, but thugs are, they're expendable. You can always get more free thugs later on. So I've got my characters lined up on this side. I tried to randomize the scenarios or the terrain as best I could. The central treasure is placed here. Then you place 1 within 6 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a D10 here to tell me the direction that it will be 6 inches away from. It's going to be this way. So 6 inches puts it right about there. And then the other one is one I can place anywhere, but just to make it fun, I'm gonna say it has to be that direction 6 inches. So let's roll and see. Roll again. That direction 6 inches. So the treasures aren't too hard to get to, but they are central. And remember, I'm going to be rolling up some random creatures to start at the 3 other edges. The goal, obviously, is to get the treasure tokens and get them off the board. One other, you do get XP. If your wizard reaches the well, which is this in the center, and uses an action to drink, they get XP. And the apprentice, the same way. So obviously I want to try and get my apprentice and wizard out here to get that XP, but we will see. So the first thing I need to do right now is roll for the random creatures. So again, I'm going to turn to page 177, and I'm going to roll a d20 I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So for this side over here, I rolled a 1, which is a skeleton. Okay, not too bad. So let's see. I've got some skeleton minis here somewhere. I will put the skeleton mini over on this side. I don't think you can see him, but he's right behind this column. The second random creature is going to be a skeleton. Number 1, that way. All right. If I roll a third skeleton, I'll re-roll. Got to make it interesting. And then the third roll is a 20, which is an ice toad. Now, I don't have an ice toad, so I'm going to use this red dog creature as as the stand-in. So before I get started, I need to get the stats for the toad. And what I'm going to do is off camera, I'm going to be writing them on this whiteboard, which you probably won't see, but I'll just use it to help me out. The toad has a movement of 4, a fight of +2, shoot of +0, it doesn't shoot, an armor of 10, will of 0, and a health of 5. It is amphibious, animal, and powerful, which means, let me look those up. Amphibious means it's happy in land or water. Well, I don't have any water here. It is an animal, which means less human intelligence, cannot become a warband, cannot pick up treasure tokens. That makes sense. And then finally, powerful, which doesn't sound good. Powerful is damage dealt by this creature is double, so it's time 2 damage. And the skeleton is, skeletons aren't too bad. They are move 6, fight +1, shoot +0, armor 10, health 1, will 0. And they are undead. So the undead feature, just in case. So creatures have like tags, and these tags give them special abilities. The undead says this creature is immune to poison and never counts as wounded. They cannot pick up or carry treasure. So wounded is a new rule in this game, where if you go below, and I'll double check it, I think it's if you go below 5 hit points or maybe 4 health, you only get 1 turn. So I will have to look that up. I'm not going to waste time. I want to get going here, but I thought maybe I could just turn to the wounded thing and see it, but it doesn't say anything about wounded. So it's probably under the combat section, which here it is, yeah. So wounded damage, here it is. Obviously 0 means you are dead, and it says optional rule wounded. It's an optional rule, but I'm going to play the optional rule. When any figure is reduced to 4 or less, they are considered wounded. They are reduced to a single activation instead of 2. Okay, so I'll remember that. And I also play the optional rule. Well, I don't think it's optional in 2. I think it's the critical. A 20 means you add, it is optional. It's on page 55. So the game has what they call optional critical hits. When a figure makes a natural 20, then it has scored a critical hit. It automatically wins, even if the opponent combat roll is higher. So your opponent could roll a 22, which is like an 18, maybe +4, 22. But if you roll a natural 20, you win automatically. And you add +5 to the damage. It says it does an additional 5 damage. Critical hits also apply to shooting rolls. Now, it says when a figure, so I'm assuming that means enemy creatures as well, because I think it would say a warband member. So I'm going to treat creatures as also being able to crit hit, all right? So on the first, when the game starts, it is the wizard phase, and what I'm going to do is the wizard and up to 3 soldiers within 3 inches. My wizard is right here behind this column. They may move up to 3. I may move up to 3 soldiers within 3 inches. So they're all within 3 inches. So the wizard can move 6, and I need to get my sheets out here so I can verify all this stuff. I don't have any in-game or before game or after game. Well, before game rolls to make right now. So the wizard is going to move 6 inches. He's going to come out here. It's right here. Actually, that's my apprentice. Sorry. I knew there was something wrong. My wizard with the torch is going to move out here. These 3 guys are going to also move 6 inches. They basically will stay sort of surrounding him. And the wizard will now cast a spell. He's going to do an enchant weapon. He needs an 8 or higher because that is one of his spells. So an 8 or higher, and I'm going to cast it on the guy with the turban. He's one of my thugs. I need an 8 or higher. I got a 14, so I'm also going to be tracking my successful spells because you get XP for that. So I cast enchant armor, and it was a success. And now the turban guy is now plus, where is he? He's not +2 fight, he's +3 fight. As long as he has that weapon. Because I did enchant the weapon. Yeah. All right, and then they are going to do their second action, which is a half movement. They each move 6, so they can move an additional 3. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm rushing for the treasures. It is now, because I'm doing, oh yeah, I forgot. Because I am doing solo game, the solo rules that Joe introduced, they go, it goes fighter, it goes wizard phase, apprentice phase, creature phase, then soldier phase. So the creatures will get to move before the soldiers. So it is now the apprentice phase, and same thing. I want to keep my, because I'm playing solo, I'm going to tend to try and keep my characters together. So I'm going to move the apprentice out 6 inches. And then these other guys are going to sort of be around him. And then the apprentice is going to cast enchant weapon. He needs a 10 or higher, and he's going to cast it on, I'm going to have him cast it on one of these guys that's out front. He'll cast it on this one-legged or jumping thug. 10 or higher. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. I rolled a 13. So that character is now +3. And that is, who is that? That was the one jumper. Where did I write that? +3. Okay. And then they will double move. I'm going to have them sort of spread out. So 3 inches will go here. This 3 will go to the edge here. And this one behind will move to here. All right. That is it for the apprentice phase. Now it is time for the creature phase. Now the creatures, they don't see me. So initially there's a kind of a, what do you call it, a spreadsheet, or not a spreadsheet, a flow chart for determining the creature's action. So is the creature in combat? None of them are. Is there a warband member in sight? Well, that one for sure can see down here and see this one. This one can definitely see that one, but this one way back here, there's nothing. So that one's probably going to be moving randomly. So it says if the creature is in the, if it will shoot the clothes, if the creature has no missile weapon, if the creature is moved into combat, so random movement. So the creature will make its full move in a random direction. So I'm going to roll a d10, and this will tell me the direction, and it's going that way. And it will move its full movement, and the skeleton moves 6. And if it doesn't see anybody, and it doesn't, it will move 3. And I'm just gonna say it's gonna move. This was set wrong. I'm gonna say it'll move 3 out this way. So it's coming out this way. And at this point, now it can see my warband. So this skeleton down here will move its full 6 plus 3 is 9. So it does not have a crossbow. It's going to move 9 inches, which puts it right here, right there. And then the toad moves 4, and it will move an additional 2 for a 6, heading towards this direction. So it's coming straight at my guys. Now it is my soldier phase. Well, unfortunately, all my soldiers have mostly moved. I've got 1 thug over here and 1 treasure hunter. So I'm going to have the treasure hunter. Treasure hunter moves 6, and I'm going to have him move 6 plus 3 is 9. He's going to go around over here. He's going to go 6, and then I'm going to have him scoot forward. He can see the frog, but the frog is going this way. And then this thug will move his full 6 plus 3 is 9. He'll move all the way to here. And that is the end of the, and by the way, I forgot to record that my apprentice cast enchant armor. Track your successes and failures, because I believe you do get XP for that. So now it is it's the end of the round. There are no spells that are going to dissipate or anything like that. It is now the wizard phase. My wizard back here cannot see him. The wizard can see this guy, but he's got cover. He's in half cover. So I will... I have Wizard Eye, which I could cast anywhere, and it allows me, like, anything within line of sight of the Wizard Eye I can cast spells from. That's not a bad one, but right now I've pretty much got 2 out of 3 coming at me. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is cast... Fog won't help because they've seen me. They know where I am, so they're coming. I can cast Telekinesis and try and move one of these treasures closer. I'm going to try to move this one closer. So for Telekinesis, that is... Telekinesis is one of my spells, so I have to roll a 10 or higher. I rolled a 13, so I did get it. And Telekinesis allows me to move the item up to 6 inches in any direction. So I will move it 6 inches this way, just to bring it closer to me. And that was a success. And he doesn't have any soldiers. Well, that's not true. He does have 1. That soldier is within 3. That soldier is within 3. So I'll go ahead and have these guys activate as well. This is one of my rangers, so I'm going to have him... move just 6 inches in this direction. What I'm trying to do is get... You know what I forgot to do? I want my wizard and apprentice to be moving towards the fountain, but I don't want them to get ahead of my soldiers. So for right now, they're just going to stay put. This guy right here will also move 6. So he's going to move up here. And I'm trying to make just a passage for my crew to get through, or my wizard and apprentice to get through. All right, that is it for the wizard. He did cast his spell. It is now the apprentice phase. The apprentice is going to move. He's going to move up. He'll move up here 6 inches. Now this guy was within 3 inches of him, so I'm going to have him move 6. And then he'll move his additional 3 to get right there. And that is it for the... Oh, the apprentice can cast a spell. I'll have the apprentice also cast... I'm going to have the apprentice cast Telekinesis on this treasure to try to move it closer to the back line here. The apprentice needs to roll a 12 or a 14. A 12. I rolled a 9, so he failed. So he did not do it. Fail was Telekinesis. All right, so that is it for the apprentice phase. Now for the creatures. This one can definitely see, so he will move 6. Well, he's got to go around. That's 6 and 3. So he's coming at me. This guy can move a total of 9. And by the way, I forgot, some of this, the rough stuff here is considered tough terrain, so it's double to move over. But they'll avoid it if they can. So he'll move 6 and 3. So he's getting pretty close. And then the frog can move 4 plus 2 is 6, which puts it right there. It's breathing down my neck. Now, what to do? All right, now it's the soldier phase. Well, let's go ahead and move the treasure hunter. I want to get him back here. 3, 6. So he's coming up behind the toad. I moved one of my rangers who has a bow, but the other ranger could shoot. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is, yeah, he can shoot there. He's got line of sight. So he's just a standard shoot of plus. The ranger is Ranger's +0 to shoot? No, +2 to shoot, excuse me. +2. All right, so here's how combat works. Basically, he has, I'm going to roll a die for my Ranger to hit. It's a D20, and the yellow is for the creature. I have to beat its number, and I get +2 to my die. So I rolled an 18 to its 7. So 18 + 2 is 20. That is not a critical. It's not a natural 20. So I take the 20, I win. The 20 you compare to the toad's armor. The toad has an armor of 10. You subtract your number, your target number, minus the armor. 20 minus 10 is 10. I did 10 damage. The toad has 5 health. And by the way, I forgot to roll for a new creature. I'll do that. So the toad is killed. Now let's go back to the end of turn 1. I need to roll a d20 on a... Let me double check the rule on that. So many rules to remember. The bestiary. On a 10 or higher, a random creature rolls. All right, so I'm going to roll the die. And I rolled a 4, so no creature. It's almost the end of turn 2, but not quite. I still got a few soldiers to move. So he moved. They moved. They did not. So, unfortunately, he moved, so... the creatures are going to... This is not... That was not smart because they're going to get to move before him on the next shot. So I'm going to move the thug. I want to get them in a little closer. Get him in 6 inches, which is right here. So he'll at least be able to provide assistance to this guy when they get attacked. This guy right here is my other ranger. He can fire a bow. He's going to fire at this guy back here. He's +2. So let me roll the dice. I rolled an 11 + 2 is 13 to its 1. So I win. 13, its armor, I believe, is 10, but its health is just a single point. So 3 points beats 1 health. So I took the skeleton out. He shot. He's going to stay put. He's got the high ground. If he had moved and then shot, it would have been a -1 to shoot, because if you move and then shoot, you lose -1 to the 2 hit. And then this guy right here is the Gray Hood. I think he's a... Who is he? Gray Hood. He is... Oh, he shot. I'm sorry, he took an action. He shot the toad. It's this one. This one can move 6 and 3. I want to get him up here to tag team for this skeleton that's coming my way. All right, that is now the end of the turn. I roll to see if a wandering creature arrives, 10 or higher, and I rolled a 3, so it did not. It is now the wizard phase. Wizard needs to move up 9 inches, which will put it right there. You can move through your own men, you just can't end your turn where they are. So the wizard is almost there, and the wizard had nobody around him, so nobody group activated. He's going to cast a spell. He's going to cast Elemental Bolt on this guy to just hopefully take him out. Now it's a +7 shooting attack, but before I can make it, I have to see if I successfully cast the spell. To successfully cast it, I have to roll a 12 or higher. And I rolled a 10. Now that fails, but I am going to burn. You can exert or burn health to raise the roll. I need to raise it 2 points, so I will take 2 points of damage. His health goes from 14 down to 12. But now I get to cast the spell, and it's a +7 shooting attack. So I roll my dice, and I add +7 to the red versus its yellow. I rolled a 2 to its natural 20, so it dodges the bolt easily. And that is the end of the wizard's turn. Now the apprentice is also going to move forward 6 inches. That will put him next to the pool, and he's going to cast Elemental Bolt. He needs a 14 or higher. The apprentice always needs 2 higher to cast a spell than the wizard. So if the wizard needs 14 or 12, the apprentice would need two higher. And Elemental Bolt is a 16 for the... oh, wait, did I do that right? No, it's 14 for the wizard, so he lost 4 health. Ooh, he's down to 10. Okay, so it's a 16 for the apprentice. And I rolled a 4, which is a failure. So let me record that. So he did cast Elemental Bulk successfully, but the apprentice did not. All right, so that is a total failure. Now it is the creature's phase. This creature is going to walk up and attack the... Doesn't matter which one it... Well, you know, it kind of does. I'll roll to see which one it attacks, because if it attacks the center one's going to get 2 allies, but if it attacks one on the far right, it only gets the 1. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. So it's going to attack this one. So this guy will get a bonus of +2 to his fight because he's got an ally. So the skeleton is +1 fight. My thug is +2 to fight, and then he gets +2 for the ally. So he's +4 on the red, +1 on the yellow. I rolled a 19, +4 is 23. It rolled an 18, +1 is 19. So I definitely win, and it's enough to do 1 point of damage to kill that skeleton. Now it is the soldier phase, which this is really working out for me. So the soldier phase, this soldier will move up and pick up this treasure. That's all it can do. This soldier will move to the well and pick up. And this soldier will move and pick up. So I've got all 3 treasures. Now I need to roll for a wandering creature. Again, 10 or higher, and I rolled an 8. So no wandering creatures. This is turning out to be a very easy first scenario, which is what I want, because they are going to ramp up. And that is the end of the turn. So on the wizard phase, I could cast... You can't cast push, because if you cast push, the figure will lose... I don't think you can cast push when they're holding a treasure. I could put... Well, no. And I can't push them anyway because they're not behind me. I will cast heal. I'll cast heal on myself. I need an 8 or higher, and it heals 5 points. I rolled a 16, so I'm back up to full health. And again, normally this wouldn't matter. This game is not so difficult, but it could... That 5 health could matter in a more advanced game. So he can't... Well, I'm going to go ahead and have him move up to the fountain. And he cast a spell, so he can't drink from the fountain this turn. The apprentice is here. So the apprentice drinks from the fountain. So I will put a note that the apprentice drank from the fountain on the... Where did I go? Here we go. Apprentice drank from the fountain. All right. And then it is the creature phase. There are no creatures. Soldier phase. This guy... Now, when you're carrying a treasure, you move half speed. So he can move 3 and then 1.5. So he can move a total of 4.5, which will put him right here. I'm going to leave some of these guys to guard my wizard and stuff just in case something weird happens. This guy is going to move 4.5. And who else? Oh, this guy. This guy will move 4.5, which puts him right about here. And the rest of these guys, I'm going to leave here. I'm going to move him closer to my wizard. I'm going to leave him here. I'm going to leave him here. And he's going to move up here to get high ground. And I'm going to move this guy up to high ground. So I've got both my rangers up high with their bows guarding. And we'll see what happens. That's the end of the phase. Let's see if a creature shows up. 19, yes. So a creature did. So the way this works is I go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't want a 16 to 20. I got a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, and now I need to roll to see what it is. So I rolled a d20. I rolled a 20, which is an ice toad again. All right. So the ice toad is over here. Now the ice toad is slow. He's not going to be able to catch me. It is now my turn. The wizard must take his action. He can't move. You have to do your move, then your action, like fight or whatever. He can't move, so he's going to drink. So he did the drink from the fountain. And that is the end of his turn. Well, yeah, that's all he can do. He can't cast a spell. The apprentice already drank, so the apprentice is heading home. He can move 9, so he'll go 3, 6, 9. He's going to move back here. And does he cast a spell? He might as well. Does he have any damage? No, he does not have any damage. But what he can cast is fog. No, well, that wouldn't really help. He'll cast enchant weapon on... That one's already got it, doesn't he? Who has it? Who has the enchant weapon? He has it. And then the other one is the turban. So no, he doesn't. So he's going to roll enchant weapon, which is a 10 or higher. 10 or higher. I rolled a 20. So this guy right here, the thug with the dagger, is now +3. All right, that is the end of the apprentice's turn. Now it is the creature's turn. The frog can move 6 inches. Puts it right there. That's the end of the creature phase. Now it's the soldier phase. My soldiers are going to move up to guard my retreat of the wizard. They will move up just a little bit. The wizard is going to flee for 9. Oh, no, it's not the wizard's turn. Sorry. Duh. Soldier, soldier, soldier. These guys can move 4.5 inches. He goes here. He goes here. And this one goes here. That is the end of the soldier phase. Now I roll to see if a creature comes up. 10 or higher. I rolled a 1. It does not. Wizard phase. Now the wizard will flee 9 inches all the way back here. Cannot cast a spell because he... Actually, you know what? My apprentice moved 9, so he couldn't have cast a spell anyway. So, scratch that. Sorry about that. He failed it anyway, but... oh, no, he didn't. He did. So he wouldn't have been able to do it. So that guy's back to +2. He did not cast, and I'll scratch that out on the cast. All right, so now it is the apprentice phase. The apprentice will move to the far edge, 6 inches, and he's going to cast fog, which is, fog is a 14 to cast. I rolled a 7, so he failed it. Never mind. Fog. And that is the end of the apprentice phase. The creature will move 6 inches. Right there. And now it is the soldier phase. This soldier can move 4.5. 4.5. This one can move off, so that's 1 treasure recovered. Do I want to kill the toad? I don't want to risk losing my thug, but I can lose my thug. But if I beat him, I think I get some XP for that. Maybe not. I can't recall. Well, I do have a ranger here who could take a shot. Let's do the ranger taking a shot. He's +2 to shoot. I rolled a 16, so that's an 18 to its. The frog is, what's its fight? The frog is +2. So the frog rolled an 18, which is 20, and I rolled a 16 +2 is 18, so he dodges it. So that wasn't good. I'm going to have... Oh, I can engage him. My thug will move up and fight him. The thug is just +2 to fight. The toad is +2 to fight. So it's even, Steven. I rolled a 20 to its 21. Oh, no. It rolled a 21. My thug's armor is 10, and his health is 10. So 11 damage kills my thug. Well, that's how that happens. I don't want to lose my treasure hunter, so he's booking it. He can move 7 plus 3.5 is 10.5. So he can go 10.5. He can go all the way back here. He's got to stay. And these two guys... Oh, wait a minute. He does not have the... I got my guys confused. These are my rangers. So this guy will flee. He can only move 6 plus 3 is 9. He'll move back here. One of my rangers fired and shot and missed. The other one can shoot. He's +2 and +2. I rolled an 8 to its 11, so he went. So that toad wins. They can't move, but they're just guarding. It is now the... Wait, did I jump a step? I went apprentice. I did. I can't remember. We'll go ahead and move him an extra because he can move 6. He's not going to catch me. Now I need to roll to see if, because I've already did my soldiers. Let's roll to see if a wandering creature shows up. A 15, yes it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see where it goes. I rolled an 18, which is not good. That means it's back here. Let's see what it is. I rolled a 13, which is a snow leopard. All right, I will use this blue one to represent my snow leopard. Fortunately, my wizard and my apprentice are both within range to take shots at him. So it is the wizard's phase. The wizard has got 2 soldiers in front of him. So the treasure hunter and the just a thug. So before he tells them to move, he is going, well, move action. He's not going to move. They are going to move. They're going to move just 3 inches just to keep him protected. And then he's going to cast Elemental Bolt. Elemental Bolt, I need a 12 or higher to cast it. I rolled a 19, so I did. Now it's a +7 shooting attack. The snow leopard, let me go back and look it up. The snow leopard is 8 movement, fight +3. All right, so the snow leopard is +3 and I'm +7. I rolled a 16 to its 14. So 14 + 3 is 17, but I got 16 + 7 is 23. Its armor is 10, so 13 points of damage, and its health is 10, so I did kill the snow leopard. And that is it for the wizard phase. So let me write down that I cast that spell. So I did cast Elemental Bolt again. It is now the apprentice phase. The apprentice is going to move off to safety, and that is the end of that. Did I do a creature? Oh, this guy. Creature phase, sorry. He will move... Yeah, he can move 6 inches right up to attack my ranger. He is +2 to fight. My ranger is +2 to fight, I believe. +2 to fight, yep. So it's an even match. I rolled a 6 to its 16. It wins. 14. It rolled a 16 + 2 is 18. My armor is 10. So it does 8 damage, and he's got 10 health. So he's down to 2 health. Wow. And he's injured. All right. That's it for the creature phase. Now it's the soldier phase. These guys can move off. This one can move 4.5 inches. Not quite. These guys already moved during the activation phase for the wizard. So the only one I've got left is this guy will move up to give a bonus, and he will fight. So he's now +4 to fight versus the +2 on the toad. +4, +2. I rolled a 10 to its 8. It loses. 10 + 4 is 14. Its armor is 10. 4 points of damage got through. So it's got 1 health left. But my other guy can now attack, and he's in the same boat. Now, he's the one that's injured, so he only gets the 1 action. He can't move, can't flee or anything. So he's getting +4 to +2. And I rolled a 5 to its 17. Now, the bad news is 17 + 2 is 19 versus his armor, which means I just lost one of my rangers. And I also lost a thug earlier, so I got to remember that. So that's not good. That is the end of the soldier phase. Let's roll to see if a new creature pops up. A 20. Yes, it does. Where is it going to appear? 1 over here. And what is it? It is a 5, which is a zombies. 2 of them. All right, well, I'm not too worried about zombies because they're very slow. And I do have zombies. Where are my zombies? Come on. Here they are. I got 2 zombies. All right, they're over here. They're so slow, I'm not even worried about them. All right, it is now the wizard phase. The wizard, he's not going to get to move until the soldier phase, so the wizard's going to need to kill this. So the wizard will move here and then cast Elemental Bolt on that frog, who's only got 1 health left. Elemental Bolt, I need a 12 or higher. I rolled a 5, so I failed it. And I'm not going to... I could take 7 points of damage, because he's at 14, and I could make that happen. But I don't... He's not going to take 5 damage. Well, hold on. 14 health. He missed it by a lot. So no, he will not take the damage. All right. So the wizard moved and cast a spell, which is a failure. So let me write that down. He cast Elemental Bolt, which was a fail. It is now the creature phase, because the apprentice is left. This creature will attack, and it's even now. +2/+2. I rolled an 18 to its 8. My 20 is enough to get through its armor and kill it. So I did kill the toad. It is the soldier phase now. This guy will move off. This guy will move off. This guy will move off. And this guy will move down to guard the wizard. Last man standing. The zombies, let's just say the zombies smell human flesh. They move, I don't even know what the zombies move. I think they're slow. Undead. They are speed of 6, fight of 1, armor 10, health 1. No, that's skeletons, sorry. Zombies. Zombies are move of 4, fight +1, armor 12, health 6. So they are hard to beat. So they can move 6 + 3 is 9. So they'll move all the way down here. They see these guys, but unfortunately for them, it is almost time for my guy to well, the zombies move during creature phase, then this guy moves. So now it is the end of the turn. Let's roll for a creature to appear. It does not. So on the wizard's phase, they are close enough to the edge he can group activate and get he and the last ranger off of the map. That is the end of scenario 1. The zombies just just wander around. They're going to stay put in Felstead while my warband goes back and mourns the loss of a ranger and a thug. Now, the way this works is, at the end of the game, they may not necessarily be dead. So what you do is you go to page 74. There's a soldier table. You roll a d20 to determine what happens to them. So, the ranger and the thugs. Let's do the ranger first. You roll a d20. On a 1 to 4, they're dead. I rolled a 12, which is a full recovery, so I get my ranger back. The thug, same thing. I rolled an 8, which is a badly wounded. Now here's the thing, he's a thug. Badly wounded means they are injured and they cannot participate in the next game. But because he's a thug, I can fire him. I can say, you're gone, and just hire a new thug, which is what I will probably do. But I may not, because I have 5 thugs. I have room for 1 more specialist who are more expensive, so I may let this thug's position just lapse, and if I got any gold and stuff, then I will I'll buy or hire a more expensive specialist. All right, so let's go ahead and move into the post-game phase. I'll do the experience later. There's no reason to bore you with that. But basically it says you get +5 for each failed attempt for either the wizard or apprentice. That's why I was tracking failure of spells. You get +10 for each spell cast by wizard or apprentice. And it's up to a maximum of 50 per game, I believe is what no experience points are gained for casting a spell with a casting number of 6 or less. Mine weren't like that. So yeah, you get as many as you can get. For each game in which the wizard participates, +40. You get for each treasure token, +40. I got 3. And then for each uncontrolled creature killed by the wizard or their warband, you get 5. I'll have to go back and review. I think I killed 2 toads, 2 skeletons, and a snow leopard. So a total of 5. That should be 25 XP. All right, but the real issue is the treasure. On page 85, I get to do a d20 roll for each of the treasures that I found. So the first one, you just roll a d20 and you consult this chart. So the first one is a 16, which is 40 gold, and a grimoire. Grimoires are books that contain a single spell, which is really cool. Let's do the second one. Second one is a 15, which is 20 gold and a grimoire. You cannot sell the grimoires unless they contain the spell you already know. And then the third roll is a 14, which is just a grimoire. So I cleaned house today with 3 grimoires. But again, you roll to see what's in them. I didn't get any magic weapons. I didn't get any magic armor, no scrolls, no potions, none of that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to page, where is it? The grimoires are on page, that's a good, where did I go? Sorry, I often forget. There's so many pages to look for. The spells, here we go. For a grimoire, to find a spell, where is that? Sorry about this. Magic weapons. Random spell. All right, so you roll on the chart on page 96. You roll 1d20 for the column and 1d20 for the row. So the red will be the column, and the yellow will be the row, and it's column number 14, which is this one, third one, and I rolled 14, which is a possess spell. So let me write that down, and I get to do this 2 more times. This is how wizards learn new spells. 19 and 5. 19 and 5 is Destructive Spear. And the last one is 9 and 17. 9 and 17 is Fool's Gold. I don't know if any of these are in my School of Magic or the neutral or the aligned. I will check to see. But even if they are not, I can't sell them. So I really didn't make any gold that game. I did make 60 gold. I got 60 gold. So it looks like probably I will be having to get another thug. So that is it for the magic, or the treasure. I have no after game spells to cast to roll for you. So in that case, this game is done. Now, as with the other games I play, what I will do is I will have a PDF that you can download that will contain my Wizards roster and warband and all that stuff. It'll have notes about the previous scenario, like where I spent my XP and things like that. And I'm using this really interesting layout for a wizard sheet. I'll put a link to where I downloaded it. It's not mine. It's from a website called Quindia, I think, or something like that. But I'll put the link in there if you like. If you like the PDF that I'm using, I'll put a link so you can go get your own. All right. That was the Wizard Spifflock's first foray into the Frozen City, and it went well for me, as I hoped it would. This was one of the easier scenarios, but as anyone who plays Frostgrave knows, this game can go south real fast. I mean, it's a roll of the dice. A creature hits you with a nat 20, and all of a sudden you've lost, a warband member, and then it happens again. It does happen. So this game can go really, really crazy directions, and I'm just smiling right now because I enjoyed playing this. I love Frostgrave so much. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will put links to where you can find the rule books. If you have any questions about the game or anything you've seen me do here, just let me know. Put it in the comments and I'll address it. But I'll be back for scenario number 2 very soon, which is going to be, what is that scenario? That scenario is called, it's called the Mausoleum. I actually remember the Mausoleum. It's got a lot of skeletons in it. All right, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me as I'm restarting a solo campaign of the Frostgrave original scenarios. And I hope you'll join me for the next video. But until then, take care.